Welcome to Real Estate Explained, the podcast that gives you a backstage pass to the ever-evolving world of real estate. I'm your host, Nick Bush, a realtor with over a decade of experience helping clients buy, sell, and invest with confidence. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned investor, or just curious about the market, this show is for you. Each week, we'll dive into trending topics, break down the latest real estate news, and bring you expert interviews with the pros so you're prepared for every step of the journey. Ready to turn your real estate goals into reality? Keep watching. Are we live? All right, so I was just trying to get me to use the Lebanese accent. I wish I had an accent so I could just like float into it the way you did, right? Like I'm just like Nick Bush all the time. You're like Saja, and you put the accent sauce on it, and it changes the vibe.
Go ahead, do it, yeah.
Elhadj.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny, when I grew up, my babysitter was Kurdish.
Okay.
And she had 10 kids. She had 8 kids. And so I grew up like a little bit Kurdish for the first 9 years of my life, you know, but I didn't pick up the accent.
For 9 years, and you didn't pick up nothing.
I didn't pick up anything, no words or anything. They didn't teach me the language. I think they were speaking Farsi. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, Farsi is super easy.
Farsi is like hard. I could say like a couple words in Farsi. I think Jenam is a word that's like sun.
No, wait, Jonim or John?
Jenam. It's spelled like Canim. No, that's Turkish.
That's not even no.
It's Turkish. I'm sorry. Bacham is the word I'm thinking of.
Bacham is sun.
Bacham is the word I'm thinking of. Yeah, see? So I know that word. But I know more Arabic words than Farsi words. So you speak Farsi?
I speak Arabic.
You speak Arabic, but you can speak Farsi a little bit? Or like you just know? Like you just took a word?
I know some words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to speak Arabic. I'm not going to use any accents in this pod. So thanks for joining me.
Thank you for
having me. I'm in here with Saja. Introduce yourself to the people. Tell them who you are.
I'm Saja Elhadj. I've been in real estate for a few years now, and I specialize in investment properties.
Okay. So that's your niche, investment properties.
Yeah, somehow I got into it.
And what does that mean, like investment properties? That's a broad term. What is the micro niche inside of investment properties?
So for me, I help my clients find properties that they can rent out to make passive income in.
Okay. So buy and holds.
Basically, yeah.
And so in that world, are you working with people that are more cash heavy because that's what they need to make the deal work, or what is like the average house look like? Like how do they determine those numbers?
So my clients, normally they just have like cash sitting in the bank, like liquid cash, and they look at me like, Saja, like I don't know what to do with this money. I'm like, okay, perfect. Because they're all been open to buying investment properties and becoming landlords. So the thing they look at most is just having a good return. They like to at least have 6%.
Okay, 6%.
Yeah.
It's always great when there's like a number. It's like I want X% on my money, and then you could just find the deal.
Yeah.
Are you finding those deals on market, off market? Or are you just like lowballing stuff that's on the MLS? Like how are you making it work?
I don't want to admit it, but yeah, I mean, I do. There are a lot of things I have lowballed.
Yeah.
We've been successful with some, but also, I mean, if my friend has something coming soon, things like that, you know. But a lot of things have been off the MLS, you know.
That's good. It's good to know that people can find stuff on the MLS, because I feel like with investors, I feel like they're almost coached to just tell you like, I'd rather find something off market, you know? If that's on the market, I don't want to buy it. And more so like flippers versus buy and hold investors. But it's good to know that like, you know, you can find something on the MLS, you don't have to call around and then still make the deal work for your clients.
That's always our goal though. If we find like something off market, it works out great. But we just look at all of our options. Even Facebook always has things.
You're just like in the group chats, like in the groups?
In the group chats. I'm in all the group chats, all of them.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And so that's a very interesting like niche to land on. You're 22, right?
Yeah.
So you're just out here, and to like land, be like, yo, I have a lot of clients that just have a lot of cash in the bank. That's like, how did you end up in that zone?
Honestly, because my goal when I first started, I did want to work with like families.
Okay.
To find their dream home and things like that. But somehow clients kept on finding me to find investment properties. My first client that found an investment property, I landed them in an open house.
Okay.
And then they have been with me for years. Mm-hmm. You know, they bought like maybe 4 or 5, and they met me when I first started. I think I was like 18 or 19 when they met me.
So at 18 and 19, like how did you end up in real estate?
I mean, somehow I was working at Starbucks, and then I was like, you know, I really don't want to do this anymore. I was a shift supervisor.
Okay,
and
you were leveling up in the company.
Yeah. And then I ended up quitting, and I was like, you know, I want to do something bigger. I want to be my own boss. I want to be able to control my income and set my own schedule, which we all know it's not like that all the time. But, you know, real estate does give you freedom in all types of ways.
Yeah. And you had that vision at 18, 19.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And so, okay, so you're rolling around with these investment clients, and do you feel like at this point, well, let's stay on the investments for a little while. So you were getting your first clients at like open houses, and then they just happened to be investors, and you kept working that. And do you feel like birds of a feather flock together, and they kind of introduced you to other investor clients?
So a lot of my people is like my family as well.
Okay.
Like my dad is one of my clients.
Great.
I have cousins.
Yeah.
Even from Instagram, people will be like, I want to buy investment property because they see me posting about it or saying like my client's making this much. So as you said, it kind of is like word of mouth and people just seeing you do it.
Yeah.
Because when I first started, no one wanted to work with me.
Yeah.
I was this little girl and I looked very, very young. Like if you saw me when I first started compared to now, you'd be like, oh my God, like who even worked with this girl?
Yeah.
But somehow they did.
Well, you made it. And then, so where are some like hot zones to find like a good buy and hold in the DMV right now?
I mean, as of right now, no one really knows about this. It's kind of like a hidden gem, Culpeper.
Culpeper. We were just talking about this.
Yeah,
so tell us about Culpeper.
Okay, so I never really worked in Culpeper. And when I went out there, I looked at my client, I'm like, are you sure you want to do this? He was like, I was at Zillow late at night and I found this and I want to go see it. Like, I think this is the one. So we didn't even drive out there. We put a lowball offer and we put a contingency of a home inspection. We did all cash.
Yeah.
And then the first time we saw it, we went under contract and we went to do the home inspection.
Okay.
Culpeper, it's what I like it is because it's a good return on investment. The tenants, I mean, I think it's a good pull over there. We got tenants in there in under a week.
Okay, so there's demand.
Yeah, and no one expects that because Culpeper is more further out, farther from the city, and people are scared to invest there.
Yeah. And what's the price point in Culpeper? Like, what's the entry point for an investor?
I mean, it can be as low as like the low 300s.
Or still, it's pretty cheap over there.
Yeah.
And it's
single family townhouse?
Townhouse, just a townhouse.
Townhouse. Is there development happening in Culpeper that you feel like is going to make it grow?
Yeah, it's a lot of new construction, and it's going to be developed so much more, just like Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
Fredericksburg was not like that.
Yeah.
But look at you, now you live there.
I live there. It's dope.
Yeah.
I think that, so I was totally sleeping on Fredericksburg for a long time. My best friend, I should call him my brother. We've known each other for 30 years. And he was telling me like 10 years ago, like, bro, you got to come out to Fredericksburg. Mm-hmm. But I was a city snob. Like, no, I got to be in the city. I got to be in the action. I got to make moves. I'm not trying to be out in the sticks.
Yeah.
And I got out there and I'm like, this is amazing. And what I realized though is the upside of buying in Fredericksburg. So I'm like, okay, I'll get my, 4,000 or 5,000 square foot house out here for $600,000, maybe $700,000 max. But the upside of that, that's going to appreciate to $1 million, right? Mm-hmm. And then over the next 10, 15 years versus getting something in McLean that is going to appreciate a little bit and hold value, but there's not going to be as much like growth, And so I like Fredericksburg, and I'm actually trying to convince people to like invest down there because I want to have friends out there. And I'm like, the market's going to appreciate, and we're getting the water park like 20 miles south. And so like everything like Fredericksburg and like 30 minutes south is also developing.
Okay.
But this like Western Prince William, like country Culpeper situation is just like so random to me. I like after like Loudoun County happened, I saw the push, but I didn't think people would be, so attracted to that area.
No, people are moving out there.
Yeah.
Fredericksburg. I mean, a lot of people from Manassas are moving out to Gainesville.
Yeah.
And Bristol.
Gainesville's expensive now.
Yeah.
So what I found is like Gainesville is expensive now, and it's not like an entry point market. Haymarket is kind of like the family, like suburban market, and then I've never been to Culpeper in my life.
Culpeper, I mean, I feel like it will get there, just like Fredericksburg is getting there, and it probably is right now. But for example, like we bought our house like years ago for around $400K. We have a single family house. I think it's like over 4,000 square feet. And now it's probably worth above $800K.
That's
at
great.
Least.
I think Javier has a story like that about like buying his house for like 500 and now it's close to $1 million. We're just putting out Javier's math like that, right? Like Javier getting money. Okay, so you got the investment lane going, but you also, I'm sure, have a network of friends in a sphere of people you grew up with, right? Mm-hmm. And are you working that network at all? Are they going to become home buyers?
So you'd be surprised. Like right now, like I look at my Instagram, most of my people, like majority of my followers are under 30, but a lot of them are like 24.
Okay.
Between like 19 and 24, like that age frame. So I'm kind of growing with them, and I trust that like when those people are ready to buy, they're gonna come to me, you know. So
But
I
you're
think that's
engaging
the-
with them right now, right? To
Yes.
buy. And what are they not? Are they taking action? Or are they sitting on the sidelines? Like, what do they think about the real estate market?
I mean, they all ask me like how to get into it.
Yeah.
You know, but they always say, you know, when I'm ready to buy, I do want to use you, but at the same time, I do need to take that action or like make
Yeah.
a class to be like, this is how you do it. Because a lot of people can buy, but they're just not aware of it or like think they can be pre-approved.
I think that's the biggest thing because if I go back, 10, 12 years and I'm 22 again, and I know what I know now, I would have like 10, 15 properties, but like 10 by the time I'm 30. And I actually talk to Bronson about this all the time because he should totally be executing on this, but you can buy a property every year and only put 3% or 5% down, depending on what the DTI will be. And as long as you're moving laterally or moving up, you can do that and house hack the entire way and build like a real estate portfolio, So basically it's like, and the easy way to think about it is if you bought a 1-bedroom condo, right, and you lived there for a year and a day, you could buy another 1-bedroom condo anywhere else and like just put 3% down again. Or you could step up to a townhouse, or you could step up to a single family. It's hard like once you have a single family to like convince the underwriter like I'm buying a condo to live in it. But you can do that up to 10 times before you have to like get special financing.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if I was 22 years old, that's what I would be trying to do, because like the alternative is like live at home with your parents or like rent like with your peoples, like your friends, and like house hack. But it's like you can just become the investor,
I agree. I'm going to throw some shade right now because a lot of my followers are doing this. So instead, like they're investing in like cars or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they don't own it. Like they're paying it month by month, whatever. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, you could easily use that money to buy a property. You're getting at that age where like you should buy a house. You should look at that because that is a long-term investment. You're going to build equity.
Yeah.
And I feel like we were talking about that earlier. I think it was I think maybe a few days ago.
Like somebody bought a car instead of buying it, or they bought a car.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, if I bought a property, I would have to get rid of my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you rather care like what people think, or would you rather be like sitting on money?
Well, also let me ask you, like, is this person a man?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you, would it be doper for someone to say, I own my condo or my house, or I have like a Benz? What's like the cooler thing, right? Like the condo.
I'm like, okay, like cool, like you own a roof.
Yeah.
You own a door.
You own
Like
a roof?
you have a roof that you like sleep under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think happens? I mean, what's that conversation like? And also that person can still have that car, but they can house hack. So I think that people don't realize it's like, well, if you bought, I call it like frat housing the crib, right? You a group home, right? If you buy a 3-bed, 2.5-bath townhouse, and you just say, I'm going to take the basement space for myself or the primary bedroom, and you rent all the other rooms out, right? You'll have a bunch of people living in your house, but they would effectively be paying most of the mortgage. And so then you can still have room to, buy everything you want.
Yeah, some people have that mindset like the first house they buy has to be like this really nice house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, the first house you buy has to be an investment property.
So explain that a little bit. So what do you think the path, like a solid path for somebody?
Okay, so like you've gotten to the point where you're making amount of money that you can be pre-approved, right? Your first house, you should look at it as an investment, not like, oh, I'm going to live here forever, this and that. It should be something where it's in a area that you know is going to grow, right? And it's in an area that you know there's demand, or at least you see potential because things are going around, whatever. It might not be the prettiest, right? You can do some cosmetic work to it, and it might be small, right? But you're only going to live there for a few years, and then you're going to make more money, advance in your job, and you're going to buy something bigger and nicer. But this is how you start. You move out, you rent that out, and you keep on doing it.
Yeah. So basically you feel like your first property should be kind of the stepping stool to the next one. Yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize that. I'm like, I think a lot of people don't realize that it's like the first one, it's not even realistic in most cases for your first house to be the final house, especially when you're 23, 24, because you may not even have a spouse yet or kids yet. And so you might not even be settled in your career. So it doesn't even make sense to be thinking like this house I'm going to buy, I'm going to live in it for like 10, 15 years because your life is going to shift so much. I have clients right now that the one we just ratified, this is their 7th house.
Wow.
And I've been working with these guys since 2018. The husband I knew first, he bought 2 properties. Then him and his now wife bought a townhouse. They sold all 3 of those, and now they're buying like they have a daughter now. They're buying like their 10-year house, like starting their family house. And it's like, but he's made so much money along the way that like, if he was just like, you know what, I'm gonna wait. I have clients that are like, I've had someone tell me like, I'm just gonna wait until I'm married to like buy my house. And I'm just like, so you're gonna rent and pay $3,000 a month until then? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm on board with that. We got to get the message out. Right now, we're getting the message out to the people.
By
like,
throwing shade.
Yeah, by throwing that's how you got to do it. Okay, cool. Let me see. What do you think? So other than mindset, what do you think the biggest hurdle is for people? Do you think it's like financing, credit, or do you think it's all like analysis paralysis?
Well, I think with a lot of people, it's just their thoughts. They overthink so much and they're perfectionists. They don't want to rip the Band-Aid until it's perfect, until they have this settled, until they have this settled. Like, oh, like I need to do this first. I need to buy this. Yeah. And then they just never do it. Yeah. It's an excuse game, right? And I'm not even saying like telling people buy a house because I'm a realtor. I don't care. You know, I'm the type of person like I want to help you build that financial like freedom, you know? So that's my whole thing. But I feel like it's just an excuse game mainly.
Yeah. So a lot of your business, your business come from social media? Like, do you get a lot of business that way?
I do.
And do you feel like it's because you positioned yourself a certain way on social media?
I think so. Like, I always think, like, before I post, I'm like, what is this saying to my audience? Yeah. You know? So I feel like you probably do the same.
Yeah, I look at it like, how can I be a resource to my network and let them know I have information? So do you think that's important for your realtor to be on social media? Like, what do you think is important? Like, how would you choose a realtor?
Oh, I love this question. I sometimes think about it. I'm like, if I wasn't a realtor, how would I choose my realtor? I would choose someone that I know would be fun to be around. Because when you're like looking at houses or working with someone, you want someone that like you can actually speak to, not someone who's a robot. I want someone who's looking like they're actually like doing business. I want someone who has a personality. I want someone who's not just real estate. They have other things going for them, or like they like going to the gym. They like animals. They like traveling. For me, like if I want to do business with someone, I have to like you. Yeah. You know? You want somebody that you can like vibe with and hang out with while you see homes. Yeah. What does it mean to look like they do business? It depends. Like, I mean, we all know like this looks in different ways, right? But even if I see someone like hustling and putting themselves out there, putting value out there, for me, that shows that they're working.
Yeah, you want someone who's like active, hustling. You can tell like they're doing deals. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's those are all good things. And I think it's tough because, you know, we were all at the point one time where you didn't have a deal, right? Or you did like 2 deals and you know nothing. But I think that the like hustle to be like, no, like to show people like, no, I'm out here. Like when people want to get into real estate and they're like, how do I get started? I'm like, you have to do video and you have to be talking about real estate. Because right now your whole network knows you as like a certain thing. Mm-hmm. So you have to make them believe that you're a real estate agent and that they should trust you to make this purchase. And the easiest way to do that is by like doing video and talking about this. And after like 3 to 6 months, you're gonna change your image basically. Yeah. And they'll start reaching out to you about doing deals.
I'm telling you, like no one, like my own family, like the day like I started, everyone was either buying houses or whatever. Like the first year I started, some of them bought without me. Yeah. You know, and sold. They would buy and sell without me. This is in my own family. Yeah.
I can tell this comes up at events. You're like, yo, you remember when you bought that house?
Yeah, it's like my own family. But then when they saw my first client, my first deal was a listing. Okay. I got it from the gym. It was a FSBO, for sale by owner. Mm-hmm. Once they saw me do that, like, oh, she's actually doing it. And that one sale, I think I made like 20 posts of it.
Okay. And just then, like milking it.
Like 20, milking it. Even my listing sign, I'm like, oh, this is such a like nice listing sign. Yeah. And then everyone was watching, like, oh wait, she's actually doing it. So I definitely agree. But like, what about you? What would you look for?
That's a really good question. You know, I think for me, it would be more of like the technical aspect, right? Like, it'd be cool to not be like to hang out with somebody that's cool. And I'm a salesperson that can be sold, right? But I think that I just need someone who's like responsive and can answer my questions, and I trust that they have the information. So even when I'm doing my buyer's presentation, I tell people, I'm like, look, like we're doing this because you need to understand all of the moving parts in the process, and you need to know what to expect when we're out in the market. But also, you need to know that I know what I'm doing as well, because there's going to be certain points along the process where I'm telling you to do something, or I'm advising you on doing something, or we're constructing an offer, and I'm, moving around the contingencies and the dates, and you need to understand the way I think about that. Because like you have to trust me as your expert, right? Kind of like you got to know your lawyer knows the law. You can't just, because they're like, we're going to go to court today, sit down, be quiet. That's like what you're supposed to do in court, right? And they like get you out of trouble or whatever. And it's like, you need to trust that they can do that. So I think it would be, I would definitely want somebody with a social media presence that has showed me that they like know what to do, and that they're passionate about it, right? Like I know that they care about their business and can just like answer my questions. I'm all about like, I ask you a question, like, can you find me the answer?
I agree.
It doesn't make sense. I'm big on asking questions. So what do you think is, so for you, it was like, I want to hang out with someone.
Okay. No, it's not only that. Like,
no, like somebody like cool, but like from like a technical aspect, like what do you think is important? Like the knowledge, network, like ability to find off-market deals. Like what is like that tangible thing like from a technical standpoint?
For me, responsiveness is like number one.
Okay.
Even like my loan officer, like the reason why like I always go back is because of how responsive.
Okay.
Same thing with any like, I mean, my girls know like your nail lady, like your laser lady, like whatever it is. If they're not responsive, you're gonna find the next.
So that's like Saja sends a message and she wants to get it back right away.
Right.
You are actually pretty good in the DMs. Like you like respond right away.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think that's important too because it's like why are you not communicating? I know you have your phone.
Especially when it's business, yeah.
It's like I know you have your phone in your hand.
Yeah.
I'm calling you to like give you money, right? Or like you're calling me to like, why would I not answer my phone?
And you'd be surprised. Like there's like some realtors that have their phone on D&D, for example.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It makes me mad.
yeah, I'm like, what?
I just like how does that even D&D?
Never answer your phone. Like what in the world?
They're like screening calls.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
And even some of the old school like realtors, like they don't pick up their damn phone. And I'm like, for what do you have it?
There's an agent that like doesn't like to talk on the phone and they text only. And I'm like, how can I was like, I don't even want to make an offer on this property because this would be horrible to communicate throughout. I think that's important. You got to communicate. And I think it's tough because our business is kind of like 24/7.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, if I'm sitting on, you have some agents that have like more experience in the business or have big teams and they're like, nobody calls me after like 8:30, 9 o'clock p.m., whatever. And I'm just like, I feel that. But also if I'm just like sitting on my couch or like not doing something and it's 9 p.m., like I don't mind picking up the phone. So when would you fire a realtor? What are red flags, realtor red flags?
I mean, we're going to go back to the first one. Like, let's say like I'm trying to talk to them, right? And then they don't answer me for like hours at end.
Yeah.
Okay. It's so like for me, for example, like even if I'm across the world, I'm going to communicate with you. I'm not going to say I'm across the world, right? But I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to get back to you at this time as if it's not urgent, right? Or I'm going to tell my colleague to take care of it. Yeah. It's all about communicating and everything. So I would fire them at that point. Or like, for example, I mean, the agents just like came and opened the lockbox.
No, you can't. You gotta respect the lockbox, bro, because I know you've been at lockboxes and you're like, what's happening here?
But if it happens like several times in a row,
all day the agent can't open lockboxes. Yo, sometimes agents, we need to set ourselves up. We need to set each other up for success.
I know.
Because I've definitely been at lockboxes and combo boxes, and I'm like, oh, I look so stupid right here.
I know, yeah. Or like under the rain.
Oh, the rain.
Yeah, that's happened to me. I told my clients, I was like, go back in the car. I'm going to take care of this.
Yeah, to figure it out. I've had like keys that wouldn't turn right, and I'm just like, yeah.
No, I've thrown my shoulder at a door before. It's like,
have you? You're like 100 pounds,
I did it
right?
though.
And it worked?
Yeah.
So you...
I did. I got in, but like someone was in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like owner occupied?
It was owner occupied, and like I was trying so hard to get in the door, and thankfully I got there early.
So you basically did a breaking and entering.
I mean, I guess I went up and like the owner was just like laying on the couch and her dog.
That's awkward.
Yeah, but she didn't care.
That's good.
She was like, "Oh, like, what are you doing here?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, I'm here for a showing."
Breaking in.
And I was like, "Did your agent not tell you?" And she's like, "No, I wasn't aware." And I was like, "Oh, my clients are here. Are we still able to see it?" And like, this was an investment property. Like, the roof was like coming down.
Yeah.
It was really messed up. It was super dirty. That dog was just having the best time ever.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So I know you wanted to talk about Gainesville also.
Yeah.
Tell me about Gainesville.
Okay, so all my friends who like live in the city and think they're so cool, like they live in like Tysons or like McLean or Vienna, they always like crap on Gainesville. They're like, Gainesville's not even nice. It's so far from everything. Like, who even lives out there? Like, are you tripping over hay on your way to Tysons?
I would be one of your friends. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm honestly, which I think everyone knows, we literally have a Lifetime in Gainesville. We have the newest Lifetime.
Okay.
So that's how everyone now knows Gainesville. But not only that, we're 30 minutes from Tysons. We're 30 minutes from Dulles. And we're still cheaper than like McLean, Alexandria, Vienna. And we have great school ratings. And it's a very clean area. And it's still like on the newer side. So I think it's a great area to live. I've been living there for years on end. And so has so many other people.
Yeah, Bronson's out there.
Bronson,
He loves it. I think I've been to Gainesville 3 times in my life.
You should go more.
But now there's a Lifetime there, so it might be that.
She said it's just they put us on the map. The Lifetime.
Yeah, it's the nicest gym in all of Virginia.
Lifetime is legit. I mean, the Equinox is also,
Okay, we're talking about Lifetime. The nicest Lifetime.
Lifetime is cool. The Fairfax Lifetime was legit.
I heard that one wasn't.
Actually, well, it used to be, I think. Actually, I started playing pickleball, and someone told me that I think in the Herndon Lifetime, they're taking out some of the basketball courts and putting in a pickleball situation. Yeah?
They did? I thought we have like the basketball court still.
No, well, we have one. They used to have 2 basketball courts, so they got rid of one basketball, and now it's pickleball basketball.
Which
You know,
was
the
smart.
But Sterling, they got rid of all basketball.
I'm down for that.
New demographic in there, I think it's interesting because you're 22, I'm 34, and Bronson's a country bumpkin anyway, so he's kind of excluded from this. But when I was 22, 23, 24, it was like DC, Arlington, like that was the vibe, right? Like kind of being in the city,
It's still the vibe.
close to the city. But I feel like almost like what you're explaining is people are like settling into like Tysons and Mosaic, and even you're comfortable in Gainesville, and like people don't mind, like younger people don't mind being like further away from the city. Why do you think that's the case? Do you feel like COVID had like played a part in that?
Honestly, don't even get me started on COVID. I feel like that set us back so much.
What do you mean?
Like, people were so social before COVID, and now I feel like people don't know how to speak to each other.
Okay.
Like, even me, like, I feel like I speak to my phone more than, like, other people.
Yeah.
So, but for that, I feel like, I mean, one of my friends, like, she's moving to Fairfax, and she's sad about it. She's like, I don't want to leave Gainesville. I love Gainesville. And it's because it's the peace and quiet before the city.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to drive there. There's no, like, loud noises. There's not a lot going on. And I can go into the city whenever I want. It's 30 minutes out. I have the best of both worlds.
The best of both worlds living out in Gainesville. That's how I feel about Fredericksburg right now.
Okay.
Also.
No. It's not the same.
I'm going to take y'all on a tour because Fredericksburg, an hour to the city. I'm an hour to the mountains. An hour to the beach.
Okay.
And I'm chilling, So it's like more centralized, actually. I think it's actually the best location in Northern Virginia, even though it's kind of like Central Virginia.
Oh.
This is what I think. Okay, so let's do some real estate mythbusters. This is what the segment calls. ChatGPT named it.
All right, good to go.
All right, so let's do a real estate mythbuster. A few of them. You must put 20% down on an investment property.
No.
No.
Oh, investment, yes.
Okay, let's actually change the question because it is correct. You must put 20% down to buy a home.
No.
Okay, tell the people how much you actually have to put down.
Like 3%.
3%, right? And on some programs, you only have to put 1%. If you're doing like VHDA, DC Open Doors.
Or a VA loan, you can put
VA
zero.
put 0 down. Okay. Starter homes are dead money if you move in 3 years.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by dead money?
ChatGPT made this question. I didn't edit it.
ChatGPT is sucking right now.
They're not dope. I can redo these questions. We're gonna re-edit. We're gonna edit these. Okay. So I'm gonna go with the 20% down one. Okay. And just like elaborate, just be like, no, you can put down blah 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 blah.
Okay.
Answer it like that.
Give me easy ones. Give me easy ones.
You got the juice. So, all right, so real estate mythbusters. These are true or false, and then elaborate.
Okay.
When buying a home, you have to put 20% down.
It depends what type of home.
Okay.
Regular home or investment?
Say it's like a primary residence.
Primary, no.
How much do you have to put down?
It can be 3%. It can even be as low as 1 or 0% for like a VA loan.
And then when do you absolutely have to bring 20%?
If it's an investment loan.
And that's because...
It's an investment property.
So it's like non-owner occupied.
Exactly.
So you're smooth. I think what this next question is asking is like, if you're buying a starter home, so I guess what they figured out is like most people are, obviously the average first-time home buyer is moving every 7 to 10 years, right? But if you buy a home and you live in it for only 3 years, was it a good purchase? And how can you determine if it will be a good purchase or not before you buy it? If that's your plan, like 3 years.
Okay, so let's say a buyer came to me and was like, I want to live in this house for 3 years. I mean, that's still, a lot of people live in, as you said, like 5 to 8 years. I mean, I still think it's a good purchase. If you can leave it and like make profit off of it or rent it out and get a good return on profit, I don't think it's a bad deal.
Okay. Is your interest rate the most important thing you should consider when you're buying a house?
Absolutely not.
What is the most important thing?
The most important thing is the actual investment that you're making. Like, is it in an up-and-coming area? How does the interior of it look? What is the actual price of the house? If you have a high interest rate, there's probably not a lot of competition, right? But if it's a low interest rate, there's going to be a lot of bidding wars, and you're probably going to be putting 30 to 50K above asking price in some situations.
Yeah. What do you think, is that what you think is going to happen, like if and when the rates go down to 5%? It's going to get crazy again?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it'll be like the COVID market all over again. You were in high school during the COVID market, huh?
2021?
Yeah.
I was a realtor at that time.
You were a realtor at that time? Let me put some respect in your age. My bad.
That was my best year. I feel like that was like such a great year for all realtors.
That's great. Yeah, I crushed it that year. I think everyone did. It was interesting because I felt like a lot of people were like, it was so easy to be a realtor that year. And I'm like, it was so hard to be a realtor that year because I had to go from competing against like maybe 2 or 3 people to 20 people going 150K over. Now, it was easier to write an offer that was ridiculous and maybe come out on top. But like having to compete against people constantly and keep those clients in the pipeline who would have been like closed was a little more difficult. It was a little more exhausting. I think it was more tiring to be a real estate, but it was lucrative.
For the clients too. I mean, I had clients in that year that would be with another realtor, right?
Yeah.
And then after missing out on deals, they'll be done with that realtor.
Oh, yeah.
And then find me. And probably the same thing happened to me.
Yeah.
Actually, it did happen to me.
But you were more fun to hang out with.
That's funny.
Dang, I was gonna ask you. So what's your like real estate plan personally? Are you gonna like buy and holds? Like, how are you operating in this space?
My goal, probably, by even next year, I want to flip a property. I know that's like aiming big, but that's something I really want to do. Like, that would be so cool for me to buy a property, find it off market, wherever it is, you know, and then flip it and make, at least like 30, 50K profit and watch the progress of it.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy an investment property at first, but I kind of already went through that process already. And I feel like now it's like I want to flip. I think that would be super cool.
Okay. As we wrap up, what is one piece of actionable advice you can offer home buyers and home sellers?
Actionable advice?
Yes.
Okay. Stop overthinking it and actually talk to a loan officer to see how much you can be pre-approved for. The interest rate is not the most important thing. It's the value you're getting from the house. It's the actual price point it's at, because it's not going to be like that when the interest rates go lower.
Yeah. Okay. And what about for home sellers?
Home sellers, don't be cheap. Paint the walls. Fix the little things. It's going to make you a lot more money in the long run. Even professional cleaning is going to go a long way.
I just actually said this on the last podcast, is like during COVID, sellers could just throw their house on the market, but you need to invest in your property before you list it so you can become the cream of the crop property and get those competitive offers that don't have contingencies and sell for the highest price point. I tell sellers now, they're like, what's the market like? I'm like, it's great when you're the cream of the crop. I'm like, all the homes that are beautiful and priced well, they're selling over list price with multiple offers, and the homes that people walk into, and they have to do $40,000-$50,000 worth of work for it to be like livable. You know, they're not really selling that quickly. So you definitely have to invest.
And those are usually the overpriced properties, the ones that need so much work, and it's like the audacity.
You know, that's one thing I do notice about Fredericksburg, and maybe I don't know how it is in like Gainesville Haymarket, is like people are not like upgrading there. They're like, we don't need to upgrade our house. Like
Fredericksburg?
They're just like not down.
Oh, heck
to do
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So you can get a steal out there. All right, well, where can the people find you? How do they get in contact with you?
Instagram is the quickest way, honestly. Saja, SAJAAELHAJ.
You got to say it with the accent.
Saja Elhadj. Yeah.
All right, thanks for joining me, Saja. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we out.